What's up guys, Lockie here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing some lessons. Recently I just built a $1 million a month business in a month, which is pretty cool. So I'm about to go over the stats. I've got my computer in front of me. Then I just want to make this a super candid video that I would want to watch. I've written down a whole bunch of lessons from the past 10 years that I've learned in entrepreneurship, and I kind of want to document this and hopefully you get some value out of it as well. So I'm not sure if you've seen the other videos or if I've posted them yet about kind of my update videos. I filmed a video on my iPhone just before I launched this new business that I've started with my business partner, predicting / really hoping and crossing my fingers what the results would be. And the results have been pretty crazy. I hit the goal that I wanted to hit, was to get to a $1 million a month run rate within a month. We haven't hit $1 million cash collected inside of the first 30 days because the first day we spent $200 on ads. So we're ramping it up, but we hit our top day. Let me actually get it up here. Our top day was on day 26. We hit $34,545 USD. This is all USD. I built a $1 million a month business before that we did $1 million cash collected a month, but that was AUD. Granted, it was in Australia, selling to Australian customers, so I think that still counts. But it's kind of cool because this is a lot more significant to me anyway, coming from Australia because it's in USD. But nevertheless, let me hit you with some stats first of all. So it's officially been 31 days, okay? And we have spent in total, so this is a brand new business and it's a webinar business, just in case you're curious. 4 weeks before the first webinar, this business didn't exist. It was just an idea that I put down on a Google Doc, okay? There was no customers, there was no existing brand, there was literally nothing except just an idea. And then my goal was to build it from absolutely nothing and launch it within 30 days. And then within that first 30 days of it being live, hit a $1 million a month run rate, which is essentially, if I could hit $33,333 in one day within that first 30 days, that would be a $1 million a month run rate. Now, it's going to take some time, hopefully pretty quickly actually, the way that we're going, to actually hit $1 million collected cash within a month, but we are on track to do that. So in the first 31 days, we have spent $118,972 in ads. This is all on Meta, just in case you're curious. And we have generated $325,765 in cash. And that is at a 2.74 ROAS. Our total cost on that, ad spend, sales commissions, all that jazz, any refunds, is $198,528. And therefore our total profit has been $127,237 at a net profit margin of 39.06%. Now there's a few other costs in that, like a couple pieces of software here and there. I think I'm next to a school or something. By the way, I'm in Florida. If you can check out my USA merch and my cap, that's why I'm sweating as well, by the way. It's hot as fuck out here, but first time in the US, which is really cool, but I'll talk more about that another time. We've got a few more software costs here and there. Sorry about that bell. But those are the numbers. It's pretty happy with that. And then yeah, we hit that 34,000 and we're doing pretty consistent. If we take the profit, 127,000, let's plug it into a calculator. We divide that by, say, 31. We're doing roughly 4.1 thousand profit a month, but that's heavily slanted towards the back end, right? Because we launched out $500 a day ad spend. Then after a few days, we scaled up to $1,000 a day ad spend. So we've been like scaling, so it's starting to hit the hockey stick. So yeah, those are the numbers. Let me dive into some lessons. I've just read a bunch of them out. This is gonna be a super candid video, and they're in no particular order. So let me just ramble to you guys. So first point is, everything is a shiny object and everyone is confused. So I've been in business for about 10 years now. I'm 27. I will be turning 28 at the end of July. It's the start of June when I'm recording this. And I have been so confused. I've been so confused for so long in my career, man. I have tried so many fucking different things. If you've watched any of my videos when I was in Koh Samui, just before I moved to Koh Samui, I got scammed by someone who I thought was my best friend for a year. which was pretty fucking crazy. I live with this person. I'm not going to get in the whole drama with that, but started a government contracting business, got scammed, that flopped. Started a coffee shop. That was supposed to be a side hustle thing. Was never my main thing, but that flopped. Started an agency. When I had the agency, started a whole bunch of fucking e-commerce businesses. I can't even tell you how many times I've started a new business. Did I learn new things from starting new businesses? For sure. It's not like it was a waste of time. It's not like I fully regret it. The old thing of I don't regret what I did because it got me here. But everything is just a shiny object. And I follow a lot of Alex Hormozi and Cole Gordon and guys like that. And they're so right when they talk about just do the one thing. It's so cliche, but for any young guys, and that's what I'm making this for, as a younger version of me, and just to reflect on some lessons. You can have just one business and it can be super successful, dude. And almost everyone in my circle and in my friends' circles and in the circles of circles, almost everyone who has multiple things isn't that successful. And here's the thing I don't hear most people talk about. Even if they are a bit successful, they always end up running into fucking problems, like random ass problems. Business is filled with problems, but there's just always more problems that stop them from getting to that next level when they have multiple things going on. And they view it as normal, but I can just see it. I can be like, yeah, dude, of course that's happened because you have 3 businesses, dude. You just have not got the time or the attention or energy to be good enough in one business. I think it's the mindset. They have this almost like this false positive association with having multiple businesses. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know if it's they think they can just pull it off thing. But there's people you can point out, like a fucking Elon Musk, whoever, who do have multiple businesses and they are very successful. But almost everyone that I know, because I'm friends with a lot of people in my circles who are like, I don't know, 100K a month entrepreneurs, 250K a month entrepreneurs. I know a lot of people who are $1 million a month, around about that level. All the people who are at 100K, 250K a month, all those people around that level, selling courses, agencies, different types of businesses, info products, whatever, SaaS, they all usually have multiple things. The people who are at $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a month have one thing. And it's like this delusion of the people, I just want to take them. And this is me talking to me, right? I'm not above this because this was me not too long ago. But I just want to fucking shake them and be like, dude, have one thing. Just have one thing. And it's such an obvious thing when you look at it with hindsight that it's like, if you need multiple things, it's because you're not good enough at the first thing to hit your goals. Because you can always hit your goals with one thing. Always. You can hit your goal with one thing. Now, is there a time where you should change things because your business model sucks? Yeah, there is. I'm not going to dive into how to fucking identify that in this video. It's a bit out of scope. But that's my lesson, is if you have multiple things, stop. So you're not going to get to your goals any faster by having multiple things. You're just nerfing your abilities to scale one thing. Okay, next one is if you can't increase LTV, it's a waste of time. This is a huge fucking lesson. This is a little bit more on the tactical side. LTV is lifetime customer value, okay? And I, as a marketer, I'm a copywriter and I'm a salesperson by trade, okay? That's what I've spent my whole career learning how to do. And I have usually had a business partner on the product side. And I have spent my whole career mastering how do I lower CAC. There's only 2 ways to grow your business. There's only 2 metrics in your entire business that actually matter. And it is CAC, cost to acquire a customer, and it is LTV, how much you make from the customer. Your entire quality of life, the quality of your employees, the quality of your business, everything comes down to how big the gap is between those 2 numbers. And this is really embarrassing to even think about, and I feel so dumb fucking saying this to the camera now, but I've spent my whole career trying to drop CAC. Every day I've woken up for 10 years obsessing over making better ads, having a better sales team. Now granted, some of that increases LTV, but for the large part, I've always obsessed over decreasing CAC and my LTV, which is how much a customer is worth, basically how much they pay us, how many times they come back, etc. The product, the success of the product, etc. I've largely left to a business partner, which in and of itself is not a problem, There's nothing bad about any of the business partners. It's more just I've only focused on one aspect of the business, one half of the business. Now, the more successful people that I study, guess what they focus on? They don't focus on dropping CAC. Why have I been so stupid? They focus on increasing LTV. All the most successful businesses, 1 million a month, 2 million a month, 5 million a month, 10 million a month that I've now studied and looked at, all of them increase LTV higher than any of their competitors, and they obsess over that, and they do care about CAC, but they almost don't give a fuck about it, which is a bitter pill to swallow as someone who spent his 10 years trying to drop CAC. And so in this business now, we've got a pretty low CAC. Let me tell you what the CAC is. The CAC is $1,035, and our LTV is $2,868. I am not stressing over dropping this cheaper than $1,000. That's already a fucking cheap CAC, okay? We run an auto webinar, and then we do upsell calls, all right? And this is a fucking scalable product. This is a mass market scalable product. I am actually forcibly not, right now I'm spending about $5,000 a day on ads. Right now, I could spend 10, 15, 20 grand a day on ads, for sure. But I'm forcing myself to not do that. And I'm forcing myself to think, before we scale, instead of trying to fucking split test the opt-in page, split test fucking every ad, and get that to $750, $800, $500, so I can make more profit, how can I take that $2,800 and make it like 10 grand? How can I make that 2.8 grand like 20 grand, 30 grand? How can I get an average client worth 30 bands to us? And I know now how to do that in this business. It's going to take time, okay? It doesn't just happen like that. But in my earlier businesses and career, I would just think about, man, how much money can I make on ads? But I would never think, dude, can I even make a client worth 20 grand, 10 grand, 30 grand in this business? Because if I can't, and here's why it matters, you will only ever be able to drop CAC so much, okay? The price of advertising is always going to go up, okay? So your CAC, by definition, will always go up. So that means your margin will always be squeezed. And if you pick a business where the LTV ceiling is built in to be low, or it's just going to be ridiculously fucking hard to increase the LTV, you already lost. And just like me, you're going to spend 10 years mastering how to get CAC super low and just be completely fucked anyway. Okay? So I would rather choose a business with a high CAC, but an LTV that I can scale infinitely. Okay? Moving on. Find good people and let them cook. I think I may have spoken about this in a prior video, but cheap people aren't cheap. Cheap people suck. And most people suck. Not because they're shit people, but because most people's standards are incredibly fucking low. And it's a waste if you're a highly competent, ambitious person, okay, and you have your shit together to a degree. It's a waste of your time to motivate people to not be shit. And what you need to do is find really good people where you're like, holy fuck, this guy's really good. And then incentivize him to do that for you. And until you do that, business will always be incredibly hard. Now, I think business is still pretty fucking hard, to be fair. But one of the reasons why we've scaled so fast, so quickly in this business, we've been able to hit this goal, is because, and I know we're going to get to $1 million a month cash collected, really our first actual $1 million a month. I think that we could do it this month if I wanted to do it less profitably, but I don't want to do that, which is perhaps another lesson I should have put here. Chasing revenue numbers, not net profit numbers, that will fuck you as well, like that. Is because our sales manager and our upsell closing team have phenomenal people who have already done this before. They've already done it. I just put them in. I didn't train them. I didn't tell them what to say. I didn't tell them anything. I just put fucking calls on their calendar and bang, they are ripping. And that is a fucking relief because my time and energy is so limited when I wake up throughout the day that if I had to spend all my fucking time and energy teaching them how to sell, motivating them to sell, reviewing their calls, I wouldn't be able to develop this webinar that is crushing industry metrics. It's fucking annihilating in industry metrics. For context, we are converting, I'll get the number exactly for you, 16% of live attendees at a $1,500 average 1,470 average LTV on the webinar. So 16% of people who show up live, who've never heard of me, who've never seen anything else, they just saw an ad on Meta, showed up, buy, which is incredibly scalable, and we'll see it. But anyway, he's just a gangster. So I just fucking let him do his thing, and it worked. That took me a really long time to learn as well. Okay, next one is you have to be a maniac about time and pressure sometimes, be unrealistic. So I have some people around me in my friend group who make some jokes in a funny way about me being like a micromanager, because it's true that like, and this kind of comes to the theory of constraints, which could be another whole thing, which is like the only thing that matters in your business is you working on the constraint. Everything else is irrelevant, okay? So this is people who are busy all the fucking time. They're doing heaps of shit, but why isn't their business doubling? Why aren't they growing so fast? It's because they're working on the constraint, okay? That's important because the reason I can be such a dick sometimes to people, and I'm not actually a dick, I'm just like, I have high standards, I pressure people, and sometimes they're just not used to people pressuring them like that, is because if I identify something to be my number one constraint, I will pressure, and someone else, I need to rely on someone else to do it, I'll pressure the fuck out of that person with love. I always do it with love. Holy, to get that shit done. I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say, for example, I'm just going to use a random example, even though it goes against the lesson I just told you. If the opt-in page conversion rate, let's say my cost per lead's too high and I need these new ads to go live to target richer customers, okay? And I have sent ads to the editor. Now, let's say they tell me it can be done within 3 days. I'll say, not acceptable, I need it done in 24 hours. They'll say I can't do it in 24 hours. I'll say I'll pay you 20% extra, and they'll say, fine, we can do it in 24 hours. Okay, done, bang. I will then check in 12 hours to make sure we're on time. And I will pressure them within 12 hours to make sure that it's going to be delivered in 12 hours. And most people think, Lockie, he said it's going to be done in 24 hours. Why don't you just let him, why are you pressuring him in 12 hours in to make sure it gets done in 24 hours? Because it has to be done, because it's the number one constraint in my business, and nothing else to a degree matters. I can do other shit to boost LTV, drop CAC, whatever, but if that's the constraint, just using this random example, then I will stay on that person's fucking ass until it gets done. With love, I always am nice, I'm always kind. I've never raised my voice at anyone in my entire business career, actually. I've never yelled, I've never insulted anyone, which is, I know that's not common with a lot of bosses, right? But I will let them know that I expect it to be done. And then 5 hours, 6 hours later, I'll check in on them again. And the moment it hits 24 hours, I'll be on them. And if they're delayed, I'll check in with them 60 minutes later. If they're still delayed, I'll check in with them another 60 minutes later. I will get on a Zoom call with them to discuss why hasn't this been done yet. And it's not because I'm being a dick, it's because if you're the one constraining my business, I will be on you. Let's say that there is, I don't know, an error with that product in the back end, and clients are complaining about it, and it's my developer. I will message my developer about it and say, okay, let me on this. I will message them 15, 20, 30 minutes later and be like, hey, what's the update? And they'll be like, okay, sorry, I'm still checking that. I'll be like, great, I need an answer in 30 minutes. This is critical. This is urgent, please. And then 30 minutes later, if I haven't heard anything back, I'll message them again, like, hey, dude, just want to check in on this. This is really urgent. We've lost $2,000 in the last hour. Please help me with this. Obviously, as long as that's true. And everyone who is going to be like, oh, dude, you're a micromanager. Oh, you sound like a nightmare to work for. You sound like a pain in the ass. And yeah, I care about my business more than anyone else. So of course, I'm going to fucking push everyone. I'm going to drive everyone and be super aggressive in a polite, kind, professional manner to get this thing sorted. Because if you just leave it on most people's timelines, shit never gets done. And if it does get done, it gets done when people feel like it. And the people who fuck with this are winners. And they love being around someone like this because they know it's not going to be easy, but it will make them better. Okay, and that's the people I want to be around me. And I want the people who are like, oh, fuck that. That's too much pressure. Loki's a micromanager. All that kind of shit. I want them to fuck off because they're not going to survive around me anyway. So it's better that they just find that out and then leave. But the people who fuck with that, they will stick around and they will get better and they will learn from my standard and they will adopt that standard and put it onto the people around them and they'll all get better. Alrighty, more, better, new. This is one I've got from Hormozi, absolute gold lesson. Took me way too long. Kind of goes back to the shiny object thing. Just do more, man. If you're spending money on ads, just double ad spend. And I think I'm going to get to this later on when I talk about scaling things and dreaming big. But I watched some Hormozi's new highlights channel is fucking badass, where he actually gives like specific advice to business owners. And in one of them, it's just like, yeah, dude, just spend 50 grand to down ads. Just see what happens. Like, spend 50 grand, 80 grand, just see what happens. And so with this business, it's a balance. In 2 days' time, there's some things I'm working on right now. In 2 days' time, we're going to go to 7.5K. And if the ROAS holds and things hold and things don't break, then I'm working on within 48 hours, we'll go to 10K a day. Then if that holds for 5 days, then we're going to go to 15K a day. And then if that holds for another 7 days, then we're going to go to 25K a day. I'm just going to keep pushing my foot on more, while I'm fixing. I like to describe them as spinning plates. As I'm spinning 5 different plates, they start to fall. And then I need to go fix that, go fix this, go fix that. Slowly put people in places to start doing that for me as well so we can scale. And the entire time I'm thinking, how do we do more? How do we do more? How do we do more? While, this is super key, trying to maintain a 40% profit margin, at least. That is my goal right now. And eventually we're gonna get to the point where 40% isn't realistic, right? But that's my thing. And for so long in my career, I was focused on new. And right now, more and better is the only thing that excites me until we're at like 100 grand a day. More and better is the only thing that excites me, period. And when I talk about everyone's confused, let me go back to that. I'm not sure if I touched on that properly. Everyone around you in your circle talks about new. Just think about it. Everyone talks about new. No one really talks about more. And if you're in a circle where people talk about more, dude, keep those motherfuckers around. Those are smart people. But I personally don't really know that many people, maybe anyone in my circle I'm trying to think of, that just talks about more. And it's so fucking boring to talk about more. No one talks about more. No one wants to talk about more. And then you talk about better. That's okay. That's a little bit more exciting because people like to talk about fucking tactics, this new strategy, which is better, but really it's just new disguised as better. And better's cool as well. I like better. I like making things better. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm focusing on making things better at 5K a day in ad spend before we jump to 10, then 15, etc. Because I know ROAS would drop. I know profit margin would drop, and some things have already shaken up in the first 30 days. So I am working on better right now. But the second better hits a specific benchmark, the metrics I've planned out, which is potentially another lesson here, is metrics. I will do more. And then I'm going to do more and more until it breaks. And the metrics fall below my scaling rules. And when they fall below my scaling rules, I will focus on better. And if at any point in time, anyone is in my way for better or for more, I will pressure them every minute of every day with a smile, with great intentions, in an inspirational, motivational way, not a fucking tyrannic way, to get it done so we can move through this so we can all grow. And that's like the fucking cycle in my head is, let's do more, let's do more, let's do more. All right, metrics are broken, scaling metrics are broken, stop. Don't do more, keep it where we're at, more being ad spend, for example. These metrics are broken. I need to aggressively attack with maniacal focus, getting this metric to where we can scale again. And if anyone's in my way, if I'm relying on anyone, then I'm going to pressure them. I'm number one, going to try and find the best person I possibly fucking can, so I don't even need to pressure them, to be in that shoes, to feel that seat, to lead that. But then sometimes those people, and if that person isn't just there yet, I will pressure them and stay on them in a completely unreasonable standard by everyone else around me until that metric gets to that level where then I can then do more again. And if I hear anyone around me talk about anything new, I'll listen to them, but 99.9999% of the time, I will mentally just say, fuck that. Fuck that. It's like water for ducks back, because unless that person is exactly where I want to be, which right now my goal is to get this business to 100,000 a day to 40% profit margin, USD cash collected. That's my goal. We'll see how fast I can get there. Unless they are doing that right now, then you, whatever their shiny thing is, their cool thing is, whatever it is, probably will fuck me. It'll probably not work as well as I think it's going to work. And I've played that game for 10 years. I'm done with that game. I'm done with that game, okay? More better than you. It's a pretty fucking solid thing by Hormozi. This is another thing by Hormozy, which I really experienced in the month leading up to launching this business, and really the month since it's been live, which is nobody will ever see the work you put in, and that's okay. And I was talking about this with my business partner recently, and I find it as such an interesting thing because there's a little bit of me internally that wants to be like, hey guys, let me give you a good example. I nerd out and geek out over copywriting. I fucking love this shit. It's in my blood. It's in my DNA. Little sales strategies and sales tactics and things we can do here. The way that I can write words, the way that you can write copies, the way you can break down an argument and repackage it so it comes across as valuable. All these different things, I geek out of it. And this webinar, it took a disgusting amount of work. And honestly, not even that much work. Michael Phelps is one of my idols when it comes to work ethic. He talks about not taking a day off in 6 years. Every day for 6 years, he was in the swimming pool, and that shit is boring. Fucking looking at a line at the bottom. I can't even imagine it. But with this webinar, make no mistake, I grinded my fucking ass off. And this is not to flex. I'm the hardest worker in the room. I think that's super lame. But just to be realistic, I would wake up at 6 a.m. and I would work all day. I neglected my health. I neglected relationships. I didn't do anything. I would have loved to have played paddle. I was in Indonesia for me building this business. I would have loved to have played paddle every day. I would have loved to have gone to the gym every day. Would have loved to have gone for runs every day. I got some gym in and I got some runs in. But besides that, I just worked. It was boring. My hip flexors and my back got sore because I was sitting in the same position for fucking 16 plus hours every day, and nobody gives a single fuck. Nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares that I put that much time in, and I want to be able to share people. Dude, look at this slide. Look at how I position this art. Look at how much time. Look, I spent 4 days on our guarantee. Look how beautiful this guarantee is. I spent 6 days meticulously planning the bonuses, and here's all the deep customer research I did and for all the different bonuses that we have in the offer, and here's how I've sequentially laid out these bonuses so that when they have the objection number 1 answered, that perfectly connects to objection number 4 here, and that actually loops into an open loop that I planted in the intro of the webinar over here. I want to be able to tell someone that, but nobody I know cares. No one I know gives a fuck about that stuff, and they definitely don't care about how much time and effort it took me to do that. And yeah, I've been able to build $1 million a month run rate business in 30 days, but it's taken me 10 years. It's taken me 10 years. And I think I've talked about this in other videos. I have spent so much time studying sales and copywriting, I can't put it into words because it wouldn't really do it justice. Not from a flexing thing, I don't care about that, but just from a realistic younger version of Lockie. It takes graft, bro. It takes time, and you have to put in a lot of. Kobe has this, I think it's Muhammad Ali, and then Kobe Bryant said it, rest in peace to go, and he said that you have to work hard in the dark to shine in the light. I love that quote because I feel, I don't know when things are going to pop off, but 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, 12 months from today, we're going to be crushing, proper next level crushing, and it's gonna be for the work that I put in to launch this fucking webinar. And every single day it's been live, I've been meticulously working on fucking refining and optimizing and improving, doing more, doing better, doing more, maniacally. It's maniacal levels of focus, disgusting levels of focus that normal people look at. I've got people around me like, oh, he always works. Nothing, he doesn't do anything but work. And I stress over the details so much. No one gives a fuck that I rewrote the 3rd slide 10 times. No one gives a fuck that I listened to 3 hours of customer sales call recordings, that I read through 35 plus transcripts of sales calls to decide how to position the introduction of step number 1 in the webinar. No one cares. No one cares, and no one's willing to do that work. And so that's why I think it's, let me just hit another lesson while I'm here. Where is it? This is the next lesson, so let me just roll straight into that. By the time it works, it'll be obvious. At least that's how I feel. When I wrote this webinar, because I've had so many failed businesses, I've had some successful ones, because I've had so many failed ones as well, and some successful ones, I just focus so much on the offer and making the offer insane that I was like, I will not let this business fail because the offer sucks. And then I will not let this business fail because I didn't put in the time and the work. And so when I wrote this webinar, and you will see it in some of the videos, I'm not sure if I've posted them yet, I'm not sure if it's connected to this video, I'm going to do a separate video, whatever, where I'm talking about the webinar before I launch it. Dude, this may be it, man. We may have cooked it. This may be it. You know what I'm saying? I felt that way. I was still a little bit doubtful because I didn't want to be like, yeah, this is going to crush and then bang, it flops. But I felt that way because I was like, this has to work. Like, how does this not work? And I've had so many things not work. That's why I'm still skeptical, whatever. But damn, you guys got squirrels out here. There's fucking squirrels everywhere. I'm not going to pick up the camera. Maybe it won't focus. But out here in Florida, man, you guys got squirrels. This place is beautiful. Anyway, I was like, this has to work because I can't see which part of the offer is going to fail, which part of this ad fails, which part of this funnel fails. I know that this business has LTV and this business has a back end. How's this can't fail. And I know that sounds super obvious. And I think there's a lot of people who get success. And I definitely got success at one point in my career. This isn't the first webinar I've launched either, okay? I launched a webinar, automated webinar just like this, very similar, I think 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. I think 5 years ago. Can't remember, it's one of my other prior videos. And I scaled that webinar from 0 to 650,000 a month in 90 days. Granted, it's Australian, but it was almost like I got too successful too quickly with that because then we fumbled it. Me and my partner then fumbled the bag, right? And so that was almost like, it was great, but then we fumbled some shit. And on the back end, regarding things like LTV and that kind of shit, then the business crashed, right? And so this time I'm like, I know I learned that lesson. That ain't going to happen this time. That ain't going to happen. And I know that won't happen because of that lesson, right? So I think that it feels like it takes a really, really long time to be successful. I've been doing this for 10 years. Started being fully self-employed, I think at 19. I'm 27 now. Dude, that's long. And man, if I go on fucking TikTok for 3 seconds, which I haven't done in a long time, but I have been watching McLaren videos because I do want to buy a McLaren because that would be dope. Every motherfucker on YouTube, I know a lot of them are like fucking on crazy car payments, whatever, but it's 22 years old, buying my McLaren, fucking 21 years old, buying my McLaren. And dude, big ups to those guys, man. Fucking shout out those guys, not hating at all. Fucking cooked. You guys cooked. But if I feel old, man, I feel unk. There's actually a skate park behind me here in Sarasota. And I used to skate a lot when I was a little kid. And now that we're having some success with the webinar, I'm taking some breaks during the day to just go for a skate when my brain gets fried. It's really funny. I feel like fucking unk at the skate park. It's taking me some time to get that back on, and maybe there'll be some footage in the future of me at the skate park falling on my ass. But yeah, man, I feel like you'll make it when it's just so obvious that you're gonna make it, because obviously it's working. Obviously this offer's working. Obviously this guarantee's working. Like, obviously the sales call's working. Because I spent 1.5 years training a fucking sales team to get to $1 million a month in my last business. And so when I launched this, it's like I knew what a good sales script was. I knew what a good sales team was. I didn't have to learn that again. But the first time took me 1.5 years of hours every single day to be able to build a team that's going to be able to, like this, to do that first. And now this team's going to crush that team. Way, way faster, way easier. I don't want to say with no effort on my end, but like, I just found the guy, put him in, and it's done kind of thing. Yeah. Next one is AI is insane. And I just want to give my opinion on that. So this business for sure would not have been possible without Claude. Fucking shout out Claude, my guy. Yo, this AI shit's crazy, guys. I have spent probably an average of 6 to 8 hours a day on Claude. I cannot work without Claude. I did the customer research with Claude. I wrote the fucking script with Claude. I edited the script with Claude. I created slides with Claude. I created images with Claude. I created the product mock-up with Claude. I created the entire funnel with Claude. I installed the tracking with Claude. I wrote the emails with fucking Claude. I did everything with fucking Claude. It is fucking nuts. And in the 30 days I started using Claude day 1 to the last 30 days where the webinar went live, the rate at which AI got better in that time was disgustingly noticeable. It got so much better just in that 30 days. My ability to use it in that 30 days was ridiculous. I have built in 30 days a company from complete scratch that, let's just say we didn't grow, and we only just did this. Okay, we did what? 325,000, let's just call it, times 12 months. I have built a $3.9 million business at a 40% profit margin in 30 days if it does not grow at all, virtually by myself, single-handedly. I've had a developer help here and there. I've had a video editor help with some ads, but I didn't have any other employees. I launched this, launched it by myself in 30 days. Granted, 10 years before that, right? We have some sales guys on the back end, right? But AI is insane, and you can do virtually anything with AI. It's ridiculous. Get the Claude Pro Max plan. If you're maxing out on tokens, don't be a fucking cheap fuck. Upgrade that shit. Okay, it'll make you money. And my thoughts generally on AI, I won't go into it too much in this video because I want to wrap this up here. It's gonna make smart people super dangerous. It already is. And dumb people are cooked. Okay, so I hear people talk about different things with AI all the time, and my general thought is I can now, my productivity using Claude, I don't know, I'm not going to put a fucking random arbitrary number on it, but I don't know, let's just do it. 10x, 20x, 50x, I don't know. But it probably would have taken me at least 2 months to do a job that is 50% as good as what I've done with this webinar and this funnel without it. Painstakingly, maybe longer, maybe a worse job. And it would have cost 50 times more, maybe even more than what this has cost me. Developers, editors, graphic designers, tracking code people, fucking funnel designers. I can't even begin to list the things. And so if you're not learning how to use AI, I don't want to be like this hype guy. If you don't know how to do UGC ads, if you don't know how to do fucking mini chat funnels, like whatever it is, I don't want to be that guy. But this shit's changing the game, okay? It's gonna 10, 20x, 50x the value of smart people who learn how to use this, because they're gonna be able to do so much more than everyone else. And dumb people, you're fucked. If you are too lazy to be great at what you do, I'm telling you, smart people are gonna replace you. And it is a breath of fresh air, the amount of things I can do by myself now with AI that I do not have to rely on people on. And this is gonna sound a bit cold, but I don't care. People I've had to rely on in the past to get shit done that have families, that have girlfriends or boyfriends, people who want to have a weekend, people who stop working at 9 p.m., people who want to go out for lunch. It sounds crazy. I do some of those things too, but I don't have to rely on those people anymore. It's like, dude, go have lunch, bro. Dude, have lunch all day, bro, because I don't need you anymore. I'm just going to do your job like this, bro. Done. And that doesn't mean I want to do every fucking job in my business forever. I still need people, but smart people with AI are actively excited to replace people they depended on before. And it's not even like out of a spiteful thing to replace them, but it's just they don't have to rely on people. They don't have to be slowed down by people. And they can be smarter and better and faster without other people's standards and fucking work-life balances and all these different things, timetables and schedules, slowing them down. And you're going to be one of those people who moves like that, or you're going to be at the mercy of people who move like that. And you better get on this shit now, because this shit is getting fast. Sorry, this shit's getting good fast. I don't even think I can possibly comprehend how insane this shit already is in the back end and how fucking insane it's going to get. But if you're not using AI, you better become a plumber, dude. If you're not going to get really fucking good with AI, you better work in-person sales, dude. Because smart people, every little negative thing about a normal employee, smart people are patching it with AI, and they're going to get to a point where AI is, I don't even say just better than you, but it's just more effective than you are. And That's going to happen fast. So I think it's great for smart people. Be one of the smart ones. All right, we're coming to the end here. You can change your entire life at any point in 90 days. Just fucking do it. I'm just going to make this a real quick one. 60 days ago, this business was not even a thought on a Google Doc. 62 days ago. 61 days later, it is a $4 million a year business, and it is going to be $1 million a month business very shortly. And granted, it took me a long time to learn the skills to do this, but I just want to try and break some beliefs here. If you're listening to this, if you really lock in, bro, right? Man, you can make some crazy shit happen. And if you're earlier in your career, it's probably going to take you longer than 90 days, dude. But if you're a bit further in your career, maybe you do need to change businesses. Maybe you do need to explore a new idea. Maybe it's something, I don't know what your shoes. Maybe you just need to do more, okay, of what you're currently doing. But in 90 days, you really can change your entire life, and it doesn't have to take way longer than that. And I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't believe that. You'd be cutting your own potential short. Alrighty. I kind of touched on this before, but I'm going to touch on it again. Work on things that can scale big and dream big. So the beautiful thing, and I think I said this in one of my prior videos, again, not sure if you've watched that or not, but one of my feelings before this kid's on screws, one of my things that I was feeling before we went live with this business was I was just super grateful that I know the potential of this business. Like, I'm really trying to optimize for profit and clients having an amazing experience right now in the business. So I'm not aggressively scaling ad spend. That was one of the things that fucked me on the first webinar. Actually, was like, I just wanted to hit $1 million a month so fast that I scaled the product, the marketing faster than the product could handle, and things broke and people asked for refunds, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not doing that this time. But like, putting that aside, I know that this business will do 100,000 a day, and it can go beyond that. Like, I know it can do that. And that is exciting, man. That is super exciting. Not just for the money, because it's not buying a cool watch or fucking flex on the gram. It's not anything like that. It's about just working on something that can scale like that. And the challenge, it's like a Rubik's Cube. It's the way I describe business and life sometimes. It's like a Rubik's Cube. And being able to solve the Rubik's Cube to get this thing to 100 grand a day and more, I think is just really exciting and really cool. And I see a lot of really smart people, especially like brick and mortar businesses, not that they have a low ceiling or whatever, but they're bad businesses, but I see a lot of smart people pursuing businesses, and I call them vehicles, like business opportunities or vehicles that have really low ceilings or dream too small. It's like a combination of both. It's like they dream way too small, usually because they've been surrounded by people who dream really small. And then they'll put all their time and energy, and this was me, all their time and energy and effort into a business vehicle that just can't really scale that big, man. Done for you agency, super great example. Don't point at Neil Patel doing 100 million a year, please. Point at the million businesses that struggle. And that was me in a done for you service business in the agency. Man, I was a really good marketer, really good. But my customers didn't want to spend $3,000 a month on ads. So it's like, sure, there's things I can always do to be better. And it's not like the agency model is broken, but that business model was not what I should have spent the first 6+ years of my entrepreneurial career pursuing. I should have moved on a little bit faster. And maybe that's another video I can talk about as well, like lessons I learned there. But like, you should pick a business model when you have the skills that are worthwhile to pursue it, right? That can actually scale that high. And then the dream big part is, don't be intimidated to set big ass goals. Like goals that scare you a little bit. Like, I've done the math. To hit $100,000 a day in cash at a 40% net profit margin, we have to spend $32,000. I'll tell you the exact number. I can pull it up here in 2 seconds because I have it bookmarked on my computer. Going back to the metrics one. Let me hear you some stats. I want to hit a front-end ROAS, which is the webinar conversion, of 1.25. That means I spend $1, I get $1.25 back on the webinar, which is pretty high, to be honest. Most people run at a negative ROAS, but I don't want to be most people. With a total ROAS of 2.78. So right now, we're at a 2.74 total ROAS. So we're just off being able to do more, right? And our front end ROAS is all-time 1.35, so we're all-time above it, but the roll in the last 7 days we're at 1.02x. So it means I need to be working on the front end before we can put more in ad spend, right? Better. As soon as it hits 1.25, more. But that's a little side lesson for you. And so we need to be spending... This is a long-ass document. $34,000 a day, and I know there's a more specific number here. It's a long document that's breaking down the full plan. 34,000 a day. Or I can just take 100,000 divided by 278, can't I? Or 2.78. 100,000 divide 2.78. Sorry, $35,971. So I have to spend let's call it $36,000 every single day on ads. It's like a house deposit for a lot of people. It's like a car. And so it's like, but the maths, then the maths. When you fucking run that shit up. And then it's like, okay, once I get to that level, then it's like, how can I spend $100,000 a day on ads? How do we diversify an organic acquisition, blah, blah, blah. But it's pick a model that can scale big and then dream big and then fucking work hard to make that happen. Last point, and then we'll wrap it up here. Just work hard as fucking never quit. This is a little bit more of an inspirational one for you guys. But man, I feel like I'm old now. I feel like I should be way more successful than I am. Like way more successful than I am. But dude, all the people I know who are more successful feel the same shit. They all feel like they're old as fuck. Even though they're not that old and they are successful, they still feel like they should be more successful. I don't think that ever goes away. So I think what I'm trying to do is have more fun with this entrepreneurship stuff. I still put a lot of pressure on myself. I put more pressure on myself than anyone else could ever realistically put pressure on me or expect of me. And I have fun doing that. I enjoy that. It's intense. I lose sleep sometimes. But that's the game. I learned that from Kobe Bryant. I learned that from Michael Jordan. I learned that from Floyd Mayweather. A lot of the guys have... Michael Phelps, huge one. Huge inspiration to me. Tony Robbins. And I work really hard. I try and set really big goals and really big dreams for myself. And I've never quit. And I know I'll never quit. And this is more going to the people who are like really early in the game or haven't maybe left the 9 to 5 yet, or you're just trying to get into high ticket sales, because I know a lot of guys who watch me who do high ticket sales, or the new appointment setters or the new entrepreneurs or whatever. But it's like, don't be a bitch, dude. And I don't mean that in like a rude way, but if you ever consider quitting, just don't. Just don't ever consider quitting, man. And if you're unsure if you should get into it or not get into it, just do it. I can't put it into any simpler words besides fuck living a normal life. That shit. Everyone experiences pain. Everyone experiences problems. And I can tell you, living a normal life, for me at least, oh, I get the ick, the shivers when I think about that. And so many people live a normal life because they quit early. However, it doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter, despite me knowing you want it quickly, because I want it quickly too. Doesn't matter, man, if it takes you 12 months or it takes you 12 years. You will eventually make it. You just have to work really fucking hard. And quitting is never an option. It is never an option. You have to feel physically repulsed by the idea of quitting, and it's just not even identify or even come into your vocabulary. And I know I'll never quit. I could fail forever and I would die trying. And I feel like I'm starting to see some success in my career 10 years in. And I know that if I keep working hard, keep surrounding myself with really good people, stay focused, more better new on one business, and keep believing in myself and setting big goals, I will make it. I will make it. And I know that you can too, dude. Even if you're early in your career, even if you don't know any wealthy people, if you don't know anyone that's successful, even if your parents are pressuring you to go to university or college, or you work at a fucking local fish and chip shop, or you work at McDonald's like I used to, and I was fucking smoking weed every day, and I was a dropkick, didn't know what the fuck I was doing, didn't know anyone who ever made any money, no one believed in me, poor parents, the whole fucking sob story. I just focused on learning high value income producing skill sets, and then never quit. And it's taken me a lot longer than I feel like it has a lot of other people. All you need to do is go on fucking YouTube or Instagram, and it's like, these days, if you're not 18 with a Lambo, you're fried. Obviously, the reality is not like that, but it can feel like that. But I know it's not like that. So I'm trying to hopefully share that with you. I know a lot of those people. A lot of them are successful and crushing it, but anyway, I won't get into that whole thing at the end here. This is a positive ending message, which is just believe in yourself. Dude, believe in yourself. I feel so corny, man, to say fucking, I'm like in a fucking park recording this video, but dude, this is what it is, man. You do gotta believe in yourself. I'm out here in Florida, Sarasota. It's been beautiful, man. America is very similar to Australia. Florida's beautiful. We got wide roads, big ass car parks. People are not as overweight as I thought they would be. People talk about that. Just got back from New York City. That was dope. Big city. Big city. Reminds me a bit of Tokyo. Reminds me a bit of Sydney in Australia. It's cool to be out here. It's nice to be on American time zone for the first time in my life, considering this is an American business. And I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful and blessed to be able to sit here and record this video in the park. I wish I learned a lot of these lessons earlier, but life gave me the opportunity to learn a lot of these lessons earlier, and I didn't learn it the easy way. So I have this saying, maybe I stole it from someone, I don't know, but you never learn the important lessons in life the easy way. You only learn them the hard way, because you're already given the chance to learn them the easy way through someone else, but you still said, I have to touch the stove. And then you touch the stove and you get burned. And it's only when you get burned does that become a part of your identity. Trauma itself, now I'm just going a whole fucking tangent, but we got some battery life left here on this video. Haven't recorded a video in a while, so why not? Trauma, by definition, changes who you are and how you do things. So you can have a good traumatic experience to learn a good lesson. You can have bad trauma that changes you in a bad way. And I think that I feel so old, man. I feel like I should have learned so many of these lessons earlier. But number one, I'm sure if I had learned them in half the time, I'd still feel that way. Because I know that my journey is much, much faster than a lot of other people's journeys. And I still feel this way, right? And they feel that way. And I know people more successful than me significantly faster who still feel that way. But I wish I'd learned these lessons faster. I think it was a quote by, I don't know, it was Gandhi or someone like that. It was like, in life, I wished, it was something like, I don't wish I didn't make any of my mistakes. I just wish I made them faster. And so maybe to end this video on that lesson of the only thing I would change about the past 10 years is I wish I'd learned the same lessons and made the same mistakes, only faster. So if you're putting off or delaying, pulling the trigger on something or doing something, do it, man. Who gives a fuck, bro? Another side tangent for you guys is why not? It's a beautiful sunset here in Sarasota. Let me show you where I'm at. I'm here in a park in Sarasota, and this is really funny. I'm riding around a bike. I'm just like low-key rolling around the suburban streets on my bike. Got my phone here, my laptop here. It's really beautiful. Super beautiful. Anyway, I love space. I'm like a huge geek when it comes to fucking space facts. And like learning about space, whatever your beliefs are around that shit, you just realize how small you are and like how little time we have. And just do it, man. You got nothing to lose. You got absolutely nothing to lose. You have absolutely everything to gain. And other people's opinions, even your own opinions, none of them matter. None of them make a difference. The only thing that matters is, and this is what I'm really loving here, I'll end it on this perhaps. It's been a long time since I've ever had like, you know how you wake up and you're like, man, if I just had this, I'd be happy. This is going to sound really funny. So many times, and especially when we hit the $1 million a month run rate, or the $34,000 day within 30 days. That night, I was riding back from the gym at 10 p.m. or something, and when we hit it, and I had this euphoric moment, and I've had it a couple times here in Sarasota, of I don't want anything else. If I can just wake up, work, I love cold brew coffee. I just got a new cold brew machine, so I'm like fucking making cold brew every day, which is really dope. I'm having fun with that. Ride my bike to the gym, ride my bike back, cook up some groceries. I'm not actually cooking groceries, my roommates and stuff are. I'm good. I just want to grow this business, work on this business, do more, make it better, then do more again, keep leveling up, stay focused, not be bought into any of the shiny objects. I did that for 10 years. Just get healthier, hit some runs, get in better shape, try and start making some more content again. I've been focused on business. I haven't been worried about making content because this isn't my main thing. I'm good, man, and I'm so happy. I'm so grateful for being blessed, being born in Australia, to be able to do this, to be able to chat with you guys, and for the few people that watch me. Super blessed to have you guys here, just sharing these thoughts and sharing this moment with me. And riding around on my bike just is really funny, because I used to do that when I was a kid in Buninyong in Australia, next to Ballarat, Victoria, Buninyong, Australia. That's where I grew up. Oh fuck, this thing's going a bit nuts. I think it's fucking terrifying. It's moving closer to me. It's got a cooked leg. You got animals out here. You got animals in Australia, but I don't know what the fuck that thing is. Jesus Christ. Y'all got squirrels. Yeah, you got, what's that? A pelican? Yeah, anyway. I'm having fun. This is what I've been wanting for a long period of time. I know what I need to do to grow this business. I know what I needed to do to launch this business and have it work like this. And so now we just get the fun, the daily fun of waking up, working on it, riding my bike to the gym, grinding. The goals to lock in, I'd say, the next 3 months here. See how much we can grow this in the next 3 months. My visa will probably run out, so I've got to go do some travel, maybe here in Europe this summer. Maybe take a week or two off, max 2 weeks, maybe a week. I don't even know if I'll take the time off, to be honest. Fucking taking time off bores the fuck out of me. And then come back and then lock in and just grow this thing as much as we can. I'm having a lot of fun with work. I'm having fun riding my bike. I'm having fun skateboarding. And at this point now, it's just more of a fucking video journal entry to me. Hopefully the future version of myself. I'm just enjoying the 10 years that it's taken me to get here. And I'm enjoying, after the last 12 months of fucking chaos, to be honest. Getting scammed, best friends, turning out to be fucking con artists, a whole bunch of crazy shit. Different businesses. To just be in a relaxed environment, dope pad, dope friends, awesome teammates, just working on a daily basis, going to the gym, hitting some runs, feeling very grateful to be here. And I don't know, I think I may be sharing this now because I know someone watching this doesn't feel that way yet. And I've had many times in my life where I did not feel that, and I wished I could feel that. Keep going, and you will feel this way as well. And if I can help, drop a question, man. I know people watch this, have questions, but don't say shit because you're embarrassed, whatever. Just drop a question, message me on Instagram. I haven't used Instagram in a long time, to be honest, so bear with me if I don't reply too quickly. But yeah, drop me a question, drop me a comment. I really love giving back and helping people not make the same silly mistakes that I did. Hopefully you don't have to touch the stove and get burned to avoid the mistakes I did. Hopefully you can get to where I'm at even further in half the time, quarter of the time. Thanks for watching, guys. Love all you guys. Wish you the best on your journey and your adventures, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.